Today we're going to learn what an angle bisector is. If we look at these two straight lines form an angle here on point P. There will be a line that divides this angle into two congruent angles. This straight line V is the angle bisector of the angles that formed straight line R and straight line S, and it divides this angle into two congruent angles. So an angle bisector is the straight line that divides the angle into two congruent parts. Let's check if that's true, and the angle that lines S and V form is the same that lines V and R form. We draw an arc of circumference. We place the compass in the middle, and the angle should be the same. As you see, those two angles are the same, so the angle bisector is the line that divides the angle into two congruent parts. Now, if we look at this circumference here, I've drawn two radii between which there is an angle, an arc, and a chord. If I draw the perpendicular bisector of the chord that goes from point 1 to point 2, the perpendicular bisector of that line segment will go through the center of the circumference. You can see that the blue line is the perpendicular bisector of the chord 1, 2 and goes through the center of the circumference. So in order to draw the angle bisector of the angle that lines R and S form, we will have to draw one arc whose center is point P. That arc will create a chord, and if we draw the perpendicular bisector of that chord, we will find the angle bisector. We draw a random arc of circumference whose center is point P. And then we will draw the perpendicular bisector of the line segment that goes through points 1 and 2, which is a chord of that arc of circumference. Same radius, center point 2 and point 1. And the straight line that goes from point 3 to point P is the angle bisector of the angle that lines S and R form. This straight line V.